Hello and welcome to the Mom Boss Method podcast. Today I want to talk to you about mental health, hormones, life, maybe a bit of menopause in there as well. I'm recording this whilst my son is practicing his electric guitar in the next room. I've put my loop earplugs in, although one side of them doesn't want to stay in, so that I can actually concentrate on what I'm doing, because as much as I love hearing him play his guitar, I need to be able to concentrate on what I'm saying. So if you're watching on YouTube, yes, my hair is wild, and also I'm really struggling with one of my earplugs because it keeps popping out. Anyway, so bit of a vulnerable podcast from me today. I'm going to be really honest. I have not had the nicest weekend. Nothing terribly bad happened. Nothing that I need to... Sorry, I'm looking around because I could feel the dog crawling around my feet. Nothing, really bad happened. Nothing that I need to really worry about. But I kind of got to Friday last week, and, if any of you saw my social media on Thursday, I was jumping about on my bed in my underwear on Thursday because my husband had gone off to Barcelona for 4 days, and I was celebrating the fact that I had the bed to myself for 4 days. And then by Friday, I just felt really, really down and anxious and sad, and that continued to just carry on going through the day. And then by Saturday, I got to about 2 p.m, I think, on Saturday, and it kind of really peaked. And the reason I'm telling you all of this, and I will go into a little bit more detail about it in a second, but the reason I'm telling you all of this is that I think some of what happened to me was hormonal, but I know a large part of it was overwhelm. And so I think this is really important that we talk about this, because whether you are perimenopausal, postmenopausal, or you are, way out of either side of it, it's an important thing to talk about. So on Saturday, obviously it's been fireworks, and my dog is really, really anxious of fireworks. So Friday night, he just really wouldn't settle. And then Saturday, my son was watching a football match, and my dog picks up on the nervous energy of football matches. So if ever Tom or Charlie are watching football, the dog just loses his mind. He can't cope with it. And he does this thing where he will climb up onto my chest, and sometimes he hangs round my neck like a scarf, and then other times he's trying to lick me. And that's dogs' way of self-soothing, is that they lick. And on Saturday, Charlie was watching the football, and the dog was trying to climb inside my skin. And I said to Charlie, right, I'm going to have to go upstairs, because I was trying to do a little bit of work, and the dog's climbing over my lap while I've got my laptop on my lap, and he's getting worse and worse. And I said to Charlie, I'm going to have to go upstairs, because he can sense your energy watching the football, and he doesn't like it. And so I need to take him upstairs. And by this time I was starting to get upset, and I didn't want Charlie to see that I was upset. So I went upstairs and sat on my bed, and again the dog just carried on. This time it's because he could sense that I was upset. So he's trying to lick my face and climb on top of me. And at that moment I just thought, I need for no one to need anything from me. I just need a bit of space and a bit of time, and I need for no one to need me right now. My husband's away in Barcelona, my son is happily watching the football, we've got our weekend planned, he's fed, he's watered, he's got clean clothes. I just need a bit of space. And so I ended up taking myself off into the ensuite bathroom, and I closed the door, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I sat down and I cried on the floor for a good half an hour, 40 minutes, all because the dog was anxious and wanted to climb inside my skin. It wasn't really about the dog. It literally was like that piece around, I need for everyone to not need me for a bit. I just need to be myself for a little while. And I eventually came out, and I'd cried off a really good face of makeup, which I was not happy about at all. I was really quite annoyed about the good face of makeup I'd cried off. And I was seeing my friend that evening. She was driving down to me for us to go out for dinner, and I was thinking, oh my God, I look a state. I don't really want to go out for dinner. And I just tried to relax a bit that afternoon. We did go out for dinner, and it was fine, and we had really nice chats. It was really lovely. But as I then got into Sunday, I didn't get very much sleep. This is quite key. I haven't been sleeping very well, and when I don't sleep, I tend to get really overwhelmed. Anyway, in kind of reflecting, spending some time on Sunday, really reflecting and journaling and asking myself some questions. Speaking of neediness, the dog now wants to get on my lap, probably because Charlie is playing his electric guitar. But I really did that kind of mental reflection on Sunday to really work out for myself what it was that was going on and what it was that I needed to work through. And this is really important, this part, because, it's all very well to say, just do this, just do that, get up, go for a walk, things like that. You need to work out what the triggers are. And what I realised is all of the things that I have been telling all of you to do, I've not been doing. Not all of it, but I realised that I haven't been setting and holding my boundaries. I realised I haven't been putting enough time aside for myself. I realised I had stepped back into people pleaser energy, which I really thought I'd let go of. And I wrote a post about it this morning, and that's why I thought I should make this my podcast this week, because that people pleaser energy didn't serve me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years ago. Why would it serve me now? Why would that people pleaser energy do anything for me now? And the truth is, it doesn't. So I've not been holding my boundaries. I've been working too late. I've been answering messages on my social media, on my WhatsApp, emails too late. I've been saying yes to things that I should have been saying no to. I've, been accepting offers of going to places with people when really I should say, I need to just take care of myself. And then all of that stuff kind of compounds, and I've ended up going to bed a bit too late, not severely too late, but like half an hour too late here and there, which then affects how well I sleep, which then makes the negative self-talk and the kind of beating myself up even worse. And I've not been honest with myself about all of this. I've just been telling myself that this is what I have to do. This is what is expected of me. And I remembered this morning back to a conversation I had with my last Diet Club local ladies, and something that was really profound for one of them, which is, I'm not responsible for anyone else's happiness. And it's so true. I can apply that to every single part of my life. I am not responsible for anyone else's happiness. I can be asked if I could help someone to create their happiness, but even my 14-and-a-half-year-old son, I'm not responsible for his happiness. He still has choices and decisions to make that can help him move towards or further away from happiness. And I can facilitate some of those, like if he gives me enough notice that he wants a lift somewhere, I can say, yes, that fits into my plans. I can do that for you, or I can say no. If he tells me at 10 p.m. at night, oh, by the way, my PE kit needs washing for tomorrow, I can say, well, I can wash it, but it might not be dry for tomorrow. Or you can wear it dirty one day and then I'll wash it when you get home from school tomorrow. Like, you need to tell me earlier that your PE kit is dirty. I'm not responsible for my husband's happiness. I'm not responsible for my extended family's happiness. I'm not responsible for my friends' happiness. I'm not responsible for my client's happiness. I'm not responsible for anyone else's happiness but my own. And that, when I take that in and really think about it, is really quite freeing. Because it means that all the things I kind of realised this morning, all of this pretending to be a people pleaser. I care about people deeply. My friends, my family, my clients. I care about people deeply. That's in my nature. That's why I do the job that I do. So I did the corporate job that I did. But caring about people deeply and people pleasing are two very different things. And you don't have to people please in order to care deeply about people. It doesn't mean you're a worse person. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. In fact, setting boundaries and not people pleasing actually gives you more capacity to care for people, because that's truly what had happened to me on Saturday. Is I literally ran out of capacity. I ran out of capacity to do or be anything more than what I already was being. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is for a couple of reasons, really. My first instinct when I felt like that on Saturday was to reach out to my husband, who was in Barcelona, and expect him to help me through it, which is ridiculous now I think about it. He's on holiday with his friends, having a good time. What can he possibly do? But it was my desire was to look for someone else to help me in that situation, instead of giving myself the discernment that I can help myself. So I took some time to reflect on where I'd been letting my standards drop. And by my standards, I mean my boundaries, my saying yeses when I should have been saying no, my bending my own rules, my bending my own standards. And I took some action that will better enable me to have more capacity for myself as I go forward. Things like, I realised I was filling my diary up with calls in all of the spare gaps that I had. Someone just had to ask me if I had a bit of time to speak to them, and I'd fill a gap in my diary. And I was particularly filling it in the morning time, which isn't really the best time for me to be on calls, to be honest. The morning time is my concentration time. and my afternoon time is my best time to be on calls. So I've gone in this morning and taken out all of my availability for the mornings. I have started to, do you ever feel like you've got too many tabs open in your brain? Like, that's how I was feeling. I had too many tabs open on my brain. And then I realised that actually I have too many tabs open on my computer, and I've constantly got WhatsApp, and then my client apps open, Heartbeat and Everfit. And the minute someone WhatsApps me, or the minute someone messages me, or the minute there's a ding or a notification, I'm like, that's where my brain is going. My brain's going to that thing next. And the same with my emails. So I've closed down a load of my tabs, which means I intentionally have to go into a specific tab or an app on my phone in order to check something. So when I'm there fully present, which for the people messaging me is much better for them if I'm there and fully present. I've looked at my diary with real critique of what can I take out? What do I need to say no to? I've let go of the guilt of, I'm going to Manchester on Thursday and I'm not back till Saturday. And my friend Laura, who I'm going up there to see, she's running a women's health and wellness session on Sunday. And I thought to myself last week, maybe I should make my train Sunday and support her with that. No, I don't want to be in Manchester for 4 days. I want to come home on Saturday. She knows I support her. I don't need to be there to show my support for her. So I guess the point of this is for me to tell you that, firstly, a lack of sleep is always going to make everything so much worse. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but also take responsibility for your own happiness and stop taking responsibility for everyone else's. You can facilitate their happiness. You can ask them some questions or point them in the right direction or guide them if they're a teenager like mine, but you don't have to do all the doing to make other people happy. I didn't write any notes for this, so I hope it was helpful. If anything, just so you don't feel alone when you feel like you're really struggling. Anyway, I'm feeling much better today. I'm going to make sure I have an early night and a nice bath and chill before I go to bed so that I hopefully get a decent amount of sleep. If this resonated with you or you think it would be useful for someone else, please do share it. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.